So in last week's BMX React video, I said that it was the first BMX React of 2023, and then I accidentally published it on December 31st, 2022. So technically, this is the first BMX React video of 2023. Welcome to it. We are going to be reacting today to Alex Hiam's Aim High video that came out just this past week on DigBMX's YouTube channel. So before we get into that, let's take a look at the description. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I accidentally watched this video, not accidentally on purpose. Watched this video when my buddy Sponge texted me and said, I will read it verbatim. He said, Alex Hiam can do anything. That guy rules. And I knew this video came out, so I watched it. And I'm not going to lie, on a second note, that I can't remember a lot of what happened in here because it is so good and so crazy. Alex Hiam can literally do anything he wants, and it says, you can't beat fresh Alex Hiam footage. And today is your lucky day. One of Australia's finest ever exports doing what he does best. The talent is unreal. Alex is supported by DigBMX partners, Vans and Lux BMX. So, without any further delay, let's get into Alex Hiam's Aim High video. Get ready. It's crazy. So we got a little intro, smelling some flowers. Aim High, Alex Hiam, AH. Nice little big 360 table to start it, followed by a pegs to whip on a huge ledge, and then a giant 3 to fakie to half cab lucky 270. Like, it's already insane. Over tooth, back over 270, 450 to lucky 270. Like, this video, this down whip to double tire to whip, or was it opposite whip, double tire, regular whip? We're gonna have to reassess. 3 to fakie nose or fakie foot jam to fakie over the spine. Like, that's an impossible trick with front brakes. He did it brakeless with his foot. It's so crazy. The soundtrack for this one is, you know, electronic music. It's good. Double whip in the streets. So far, a 720 fly out in the streets. So far, he's done crazy street tricks, crazy park tricks. He does a whip over a rail in the streets, over pegs, whip. I may have left out the hard whip, not positive. Crazy setup. Big 360 over the fence. Riding a pool to do whip to foot jam whip to foot jam whip. Like, what? Then he does a 180 fakie pegs on a rail, a real big rail too. Over pegs, pegs whip, rail ride, whip, pole jam, tuck no hander. It just never ends. The insanity of this video is incredible. Opposite Phoebes 360, 180 tape down the 4 block. I think it was a 4 block. Flare whip on the big quarter. Then, like, what in the world? That transfer is wild. That reminds me of the Dorito tail whip transfer at Changa 1. Then you got the street flare, 180 over the spine, fakie 2 wall ride to fakie, then fakie whip. Just calling these tricks out is hard. Half cab foot jam whip on a double, or foot jam on a double coping spine. Is that the last trick? Yeah. Half cab foot jam on a double coping spine. Full cab foot jam. I don't even know. See, this is how crazy this video is. I feel like normally I have a pretty good grasp on like what tricks are called and what is going on. But at first glance in this video, second glance, I can't even say the trick names properly. And I'm sure I'm leaving out a bunch of stuff because he was doing things, you know, hard whips or opposite something or another. Just so wild. So let's take a look at this video again. So it starts out with the big regular 360 tabletop, big drop. Then he does regular pegs. Yeah, regular whip, which I think they call a hard whip because you're kicking into the ledge. Is that regular whip? Yeah. Sorry. I think that's regular whip. Yeah. I do my tail whips the wrong way, so just leave it alone. So giant 3 to fakie. He's doing like full cab to lucky, 270 back the other way. If there's anyone who is the king of 270s out of things right now, Alex Hiam has to be on that list. Over tooth, 270 back over. And one thing to add to this is that there's a lot of people in BMX who will do an over toothpick on like a spine or a hitching post like this one, and they will use their opposite peg so that they can spin regular into it. I don't know if Alex Hiam is like goofy footed and naturally spins whatever way, but everything that we've seen so far shows that he rides normal for his foot stance, where he's left foot forward, his left side pegs is what's dominant, and he spins to the right. Here, he spins to the left into the left side over tooth, so he can spin regular out of for the 270. A lot of people, and it's nothing against anybody because it's harder to learn how to land on that opposite peg, but a lot of people will do regular spin into opposite peg for an over toothpick. Then you've got freaking 450 to lucky on a hitching post, 270 out. So it's a not a repeat trick, but sort of a repeat trick. Okay, so this is what I needed to assess. I didn't mean the repeat trick thing. The one was have fakie into it. Okay, so he is tail whipping opposite, which is like an opposite down whip, or just an oppo whip to double tire on a double coping spine to a regular whip out. This is the craziest clip in this video in my mind. Can you imagine? That's a 6-foot ramp. It has to be. It's at Clint Miller's house. It's got to be 6 foot. Opposite whip to look at where his tire is at. Oh my God. What the hell? He's not even in the middle. He's on one of the copings and then whips out. My goodness, that's crazy. Then this huge, big 3 table to fakie, which I love this one because it looks like he's doing just a big air alley-oop table. Like that could just be a table. And then nope, we're just going to keep spinning to fakie. Okay, makes sense. Alex Hiam's just a freaking beast. The fakie foot jam over fakie on a street spine. That trick takes people with front brakes. Oops. So much time sometimes to land, and it's not easy with front brakes, and he's just doing it without him, with his foot in the tire. Some art here. Don't want to discount the art, showing off what he's doing art wise. Then we're just pedaling as hard as we can, pedaling, big old double whip. So good. Where do we keep going here? So freaking fly out 720 in the streets over that huge thing. Got a big rail, then a tooth hanger following on a probably equally big rail. You got the whip over the rail, the over pegs, opposite whip. See, we missed these things in the first one. Over pegs, oppo whip. Then we got that big 360 over the rail hop. Nice B on a flower. This is so crazy. Look at this ramp. I mean, it's a skate park, but it's a pool setup. And it's huge. That's got to be an 8, 9, 10 foot ramp. Whip to foot jam whip is crazy in itself. But then, guess what? We'll just hop a little bit and throw an extra foot jam whip in, because why not? Alex Hiam is incredible. Then follow it directly with a 180 fakie pegs on a real legit rail setup. Nuts. Got the crook. I'm not sure which crook that is. Over pegs on a real rail setup is scary and gnarly. Then you've got another pegs oppo whip, but this one was off of a huge out rail. Got the rail ride to regular whip. So I had a feeling that those whips would be opposite and regular back to back like that. Then you got the PJ tuck. Wait, did you do something different in the third angle? No, just 3 angles on that one. Flowers. Then, you know, big old Oppo Phoebes to 180, 180 Tabes, Flare Whip, just casually scrolling by a Flare Whip. This, the whip that's like the Changa Dorito tail whip. Let's see if we can find that real quick. Changa Dorito tail whip. I'll find it and I'll toss it in here. Dorito doing a tail whip in a similar setup at Changa 1 back in the day. 180ing over that rail that he threed, flare in the streets, fakie wall, fakie whip. And then the last clip, the fakie to foot jam. I guess you might call that a full cab foot jam on a double coping spine. The accuracy. And then we leave on Alex in his what looks like studio where he's doing his art. This video is incredible, and when I was watching this the first time, it was weird to me almost to think about the fact that he's not on Colony anymore, because you watch this and he's riding his signature Colony frame throughout the video, and it's like, it's just weird to think about the fact that he's riding on the Colony ramp and he's not riding for Colony anymore. It makes me really wonder what is next, frame sponsor and bike sponsor wise, for Alex Hiam. Leave your thoughts on that in the comments down below, what you thought of this incredible video. It's also linked. Shout out to Colony. Did they say who filmed and edited this thing? They did not say who filmed and edited it. Is it in this? No, it just says DigBMX. So we don't actually know who filmed and edited this video. Whoever did it did a great job. If it was a lot of people, if it was one person, whoever made this video did a good job making it, accentuating Alex's riding through the filming and editing. And on that note, I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I hope you did too, and let me know if there's something old, new, or anywhere in between that I should react to next. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for another one. Goodbye.